Hello, mate. How you doing?
Hello, Gordon. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm really good. Thanks so much for coming on. Now, I can't refer to you by name, but what I can refer to you is as Auditing Waste UK, which I think is the name of your YouTube channel. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
So, Auditing Waste UK is your YouTube channel. Now, I've seen your videos through TikTok,
Yeah.
and whenever I watch your videos, I'm angry, I'm horrified, I'm upset, I'm shocked. Can you explain to my viewers what it is that you do, what your videos are all about? So, we're all on the same page as to what you do, because this is astonishing what you do, I think.
Sure. Basically, I am it's called a free gun, a dumpster diver in the UK. So uh, I don't dumpster dive household waste, just retail waste, and I expose retailers for their lack of recycling and for their illegal dumpage of waste in their general waste skips. So
How
that's basically what I do.
how long have you been doing this, mate?
Oh, that's a big story. So I've been doing it since I was about 6 years old when I accidentally started dumpster diving. It's quite a strange story. We
Please tell it.
lived on a council estate, and my mum was a single mum, and she really struggled quite a lot. And I was a bit of a tearaway, and I used to collect 10p Tesco trolleys
Yeah.
in the town centre. Instead of going to school, that's what I would spend my day doing, collecting 10p Tesco trolleys in the town centre. And we used to climb onto shop roofs and jump off the shop roofs into giant skips, cardboard skips. And one time when I was there, I was going to jump into the skip, and next to the skip was loads of stuff inside the other bin.
Yeah.
And so obviously we jumped down and we had a look, and all the stuff that was in there, mate, from the shop was incredible, full of brand new items from the shop. And so I took it home to my mum, and she was like, "Oh my God, how did you get all this stuff?" And when I explained to her that the shop had thrown it away, she sent me out quite regularly. I used to go out, and it ended up me doing it every week. And we used to do car boots with the stuff that we used to get from the shops, and it expanded really because obviously then like 10 years later the environment impact started coming in. About the 1990s it started coming in about the environment and all that,
Mm-hmm.
and so it expanded really, and then it's turned into me as an adult. I mean, I've done it all my life, dumpster dive all my life. I've never claimed benefits, I've never needed any help from anybody. All I've done is dumpster dived and survived off dumpster diving, and I sell stuff on Facebook and eBay and car boot sales. And so yeah, and now I'm 45 years old and here I am still
What's
doing it.
That's amazing. It really is amazing. My next question was going to be like, why'd you start? But it seems like the reason why you started is because
Poverty.
it's just poverty. Yeah, it's a council
That's
estate, and
right.
you know, um, whereabouts do you do this? What are the? Is it behind main stores? Is it more chain stores? Who's most likely to be throwing away stuff?
Every store throws away stuff. There isn't a store that does not throw away anything. So yeah, you can literally go to any store and find items there, especially closing down stores that are closing down. They seem to get rid of the most. But it's funny because you can go to a place for months and months and months and get nothing, and then all of a sudden there'll be like 30 bags full of brand new clothing or whatever, and you'll be like, this is really weird. And so it's really random, but I figured it out when I was younger. What they were doing was, when obviously customers were purchasing stuff, and if the seam comes unstitched or something, like an eye comes out of a pair of
Mhm.
jeans or something, they return it to the shop, and then they stick it into their warehouse, right, to their return box, and it goes upstairs in the back and gets forgotten about. And then at the end of the tax year, when they've got to do all their accounts, that's when they get the accountant in and he does an audit, obviously, and then they audit it all and claim back all their losses from the returns. So they claim back either from insurance or from through like tax, government.
Yeah, they'll get a tax
company
rebate,
tax.
won't they, for
Yeah.
lost stock, that sort of thing.
That's right. And then once they've claimed that back, then they dispose of it. Some shops do this monthly, some shops do this yearly, some shops do this weekly. It just depends on the retailer. Like,
so not only does it cost less for them to just dump this behind their premises rather than put it in a car, and we'll talk about this later, and put it in a car and transport it to a food bank or something like that. Not only does it cost less, they're actually profiting from this. It's actually, they'll get money for throwing it away rather than actually cost them money to take it to a food bank. Is that why they do it? Because obviously it's cost effective?
No, because the government recently brought in an incentive for companies to donate to charity, where they'd give them a write-off. They'd give them a percentage of what they donated back through their taxes. So if you donated £100,000 to a charity or £100,000 worth of stuff, you could claim that back through the government.
So whatever the cost would be, you could get that back from the government.
So it's like it's very strange. It's,
so is what they're doing illegal? Is what they're doing by dumping this behind there, is that illegal?
Yeah, it's a very strange thing. Waste laws, they're very complicated, but it's general waste bin is for general waste, and legally general waste accounts for just normal bits of rubbish, like bits of paper and bits of plastic and stuff that's not recyclable, really. So anything that you can't recycle goes in a general waste bin.
Right.
Anything else that can be recycled is illegally dumped in a general waste bin. You're not allowed to put it in there. Stores are regulated by certain laws. I've got the laws here.
Okay, so one of the videos that shocked me that you've recently dropped on TikTok was the one with the books.
Yeah.
There's a which store was that what you were at? Can you say?
I can't tell you that.
All right, but it's obviously a bookstore, and
it's not a shop.
Okay, but
yeah, it's not like WH Smith's. This place it's like a book's more of a supplier than a retailer.
But this was a giant skip.
Yeah,
a giant, and if
a container skip.
If I've got a clip of it, I'll put it over. It's a giant skip, and it was full to the brim with books that were still in hardcover books, still in the plastic,
still cellophane.
Some of which were selling on Amazon now for hundreds of pounds.
Yeah,
and so that they dumped that in a general waste bin.
No, that's legally dumped.
So that's legally dumped.
Yeah, because it's in a paper recycling bin. So that is being legally recycled. You have to, morally the destruction of them books is, it's questionable.
But there's nothing wrong with them, and apart from the one I saw, which was Hillary Clinton's book,
yeah,
I can't see any reason to pulp any of the other ones. So what they're doing is sort of legal, but what you're doing, that's against the law. Is that correct?
Technically it could be. Yeah, they could get funny about it, and they could try and prosecute me for theft. However, because they've claimed back for their losses, they have no loss.
Okay.
And if they have no loss, then no theft has occurred.
Have you had any problems with anybody coming out to you while you're in the middle of going through the?
Of course, yeah, lots of times.
What sort of things happen?
Oh, some bad things have happened to me.
Please tell.
Quite bad. I lived in a place called Salisbury for about 10 years, and I dumpster dive there regularly, and I dumpster dive there for years and years. And then one time I went to a shopping center, and all their waste is contained within a building.
Okay.
And so when I went up to the building, it was full of clothes. Next, I don't know if you know the store Next.
Yeah.
They must have thrown away, a couple of grand's worth of clothes. And so I shoved them all into a trolley, come out with the trolley. Security guard come over and said, stop right there, phone the police. The police sergeant come out, and he asked me what I was doing. I said I was dumpster diver and I'm just recycling some, of the waste. He arrested me on suspicion of theft. He treated me extremely badly. He smashed my head against the police car window, shoved me in the police car. On the way to the police station, he threatened to stop the car and beat me up outside the car. Took me to Salisbury police station. Because it was a building, he charged me not with trespass, with burglary. So I got charged with burglary, and they put the amount on the charges. I think it was a couple of £1,000.
For stuff that they were throwing away.
It has no value by law because it's waste. So therefore, it has no physical value. That got to bear in mind, this is before I was very young. I didn't really know the waste laws back then.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know about accounting law back then as well. If I did, I would have minced this police officer up in court. You wouldn't have had a leg to stand on. But because I didn't, and I didn't know that they already claimed back all their losses, and I didn't force entry to the building, the doors were open, and I was young and gullible, so. But so they took advantage. This sergeant took advantage of that, and I got charged with burglary. And I went to court, and the court case dragged on and on and on and on because nobody would claim ownership of the goods.
Yeah.
Not Next. What's the shop called again? New Look. Okay. It was New Look. New Look couldn't claim that it was a loss for them, because it would have been fraud, right?
Yeah.
Because they've claimed back. And the waste company couldn't claim a loss because everything that they collect, they just destroy it. It's not, it has no value for them. And so they couldn't find, and it just dragged on and on and on. And in the end, I was like, I'm just going to plead guilty. I said, I've had enough of coming back and forth, week after week, month after month. And so I pled guilty, and I got a charge of burglary, and the judge said to me, he said, you clearly make a lot of money doing this. He said, so I'm going to fine me £150 or something for burglary. It must have been the lowest, have been the lowest charge anyone's ever received for burglary.
How many years? How long ago was that?
2 years in prison for burglary.
How long ago was that?
Easily 25, 30 years ago.
I was under the impression that over the last few years, this government and well, not this government, previous governments as well, have clamped down on this sort of thing, and these supermarkets, especially, just leaving food to rot outside and throwing food away rather than take it to food banks. Have you seen over the years a change in the supermarket and these stores' attitudes?
It's worse. I get more stuff now than I ever have before.
What do you think that is, considering that they're meant to have, I'm sure I've heard news reports where they've said, oh, now they're going to clamp down on this, but now you're saying it's worse.
That's complete nonsense. Yeah. The food thing, the thing about the food is it's overproduced. So it doesn't matter how much you try and give it away, at the end point, there's got to be waste. So so you just can't eradicate the waste, because obviously a lot now is people are struggling with the cost of living. Yeah. They're struggling to even go and pay for food, and the shops aren't going to reduce their prices. The shops are just going to keep putting their prices up, and in order for them to keep those prices high, they have to throw the stuff away. Otherwise, they'd lose, the items would lose value, right?
Do you take any of the stuff? Do you take any of the stuff that any of the food items that you've gathered? I saw a video that just
Yeah,
this morning. Do you
loads.
take them to food banks, that sort of thing? And
No, I don't take them to food banks because I actually dive at food banks, a lot of the major food banks, and they throw far too much away.
so even the food banks are doing it.
Yeah, they're throwing tons away. Even if something is, see, the thing is they think that if a can of food, tinned food, is 1 day past its best before date, that it's somehow disrespectful to give that to someone as a donation, because they'll look at it and go, oh, it's out of date, and complain. So they won't donate it to them. They will throw it away, even though it's perfectly fine for years. There is no tin best before date.
Of
It's
course not.
absolutely ridiculous. You can open a tin 10 years past its date and it will still be perfectly fine to use. As long as there's no dents or anything in it, it's perfectly fine to use.
So it's regulations really that are causing this waste, isn't it? It's the
Yeah,
regulations that
absolutely.
we've got.
Yeah, because the thing is those food banks, they think that past its best before date, it could give someone food poisoning or make them ill. And they're not willing to take the risk of getting sued or prosecuted for food poisoning, and so they throw it away. But as a man who has been dumpster diving for 40 years, food, and eating that food for 40 years, I have never once ever been ill, ever. So
there's testament there, isn't it? I suppose they're leaving themselves open to a court case. Then it's
how do you prove that it was that in particular item that made you ill, though?
This is
in a court of law,
this is very true,
very complicated thing to do, right?
Yeah, this is very true. It's the waste that really is the overarching thing for me that is happening here, because it's on an epic scale, isn't it? Can you give some sort of, visualization of how much we are wasting just on a daily basis?
Yeah, but just think of it. I must save £1,000 to £2,000 worth of stuff every week from just my small area, and I'm only doing like 10 skips. So you could imagine the whole country every day. It must be millions of pounds a day, every single day, being chucked into the waste. You know what's funny about the food waste? Is the food waste now, if it doesn't get donated to food banks, it goes to energy companies, and they burn it and make energy from it. These places, I've been and looked at some of these energy places where they're burning the food. They are generating huge amounts of electricity in the UK, and yet our electricity bills have gone up by 40%. But they're generating it for free with our waste. It's bizarre. I mean, I know that we do have to buy some from Europe or whatever, so it's claimed. I mean, I'm not sure how much that is, but it cannot be as much as they're saying in order to put our energy prices up so high. It's something wrong. Something's going on. It doesn't make mathematical sense to me.
Do you say there's only like 8 or 10 bins that you regularly go around on a weekly basis?
Yeah, not many at all. Yeah.
Do the people at any of these places get to know you and are friendly with you and leave stuff out for you or anything like that?
No, I don't speak to anybody. They
there's nobody at these stores going, oh, that guy will be, that's going out tonight. There's no camaraderie at all.
They get fired. Yeah, they just can't do it. They'd get fired in a blink of an eye.
Oh, corporations are killing us all. They really are. They're killing us all.
Yeah, literally. I mean, I literally can live for free. That's how madness it is. I can live every week for free now with no money at all. I'd only have to pay my water and electric. That's it. I don't have to pay anything else. My entire home, everything in my home is from dumpster diving. From my wallpaper to my flooring to my curtains to my doors to my everything is from dumpster diving.
I saw a video that you did the other day that you found some curtains and the curtains had been slashed on purpose by the look of it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they do that.
They actually make it so people like you can't use the stuff that they're throwing away.
Yeah, but you know you ever seen my most recent Dunelm video on YouTube?
I think so. I think I saw a
Yesterday?
couple this morning.
Was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? It's the Dunelm have a thing on their website where you can go and take your old curtains and bedding and towels to Dunelm, and they'll send it off to a processing center to be recycled. But this week, when I dumpster dived there was like 7 black bags full of items that had been taken to Dunelm, which were supposed to be sent to the processing center. And instead of doing that, they threw them in the bin to go to landfill instead of sending them to be processed. So they won't process their own stuff to be recycled. They'll cut that up. They'll cut the towels, they'll cut the curtains, they'll cut everything up. But your stuff, no, you send it to them in good condition. It must be in good condition, and they'll send it off to be recycled. They're not even doing that. They're even failing at doing that.
And in some instances, they really are cutting up the stuff. So anybody who does go through,
it's completely illegal. They're not allowed to do that. You see, that waste is not general waste. It's illegal. For even them to put that in the bin is illegal. They're not allowed to do it. It's against the law.
And I saw one video where you found swimming pools, and you were saying that sometimes they slash the swimming pools.
Yeah, they'll slash like 2 or 3 of them, but the other 15 will be fine. It's very hit and miss. I think if the manager throws them out, he's adamant, no one's having this stuff. But if like one of the youngsters is there, you know, he's like, just chucking it in. I don't be bothered to smash all this stuff out, and he'll just chuck it in, and then yeah, it's to my benefit really.
This is your videos are incredible, and it's shocking.
I'm glad they're supposed to. They're not there for entertainment really. No, they're there to shock you. And
they are
for you to go.
Shocking.
Why am I going shopping for when these companies clearly have, you know, no respect really for. They have no respect for their customers and no respect for their waste.
Yeah, because we are feeding this behemoth, aren't we? Because we're buying into this. We've got to buy new stuff and keep getting new stuff over and over again, and we have to go to the stores, and we can't get secondhand stuff or anything like that. We're feeding into it, because if we changed our habits, this would change, wouldn't it? This is sort of, it's on us. This is, isn't it?
I think it's a lot to do with education. It's a lot to do with people feeling like everything that they obtain in life must be obtained with money. You know, whereas that is not, money is not the be all and end all in life, right? For me, when I was born and I see my mother struggle, as a child with an innocent mind, money never entered my brain. You know, I was just like, I'm hungry. Why am I hungry? You know? And my mum's like, I've got no money. And I'm like, what? This doesn't make any sense to me. Right. And so when I went out and I started dumpster diving and getting the stuff with no money, all I was doing is using my brain and a little bit of labor. And that allowed me to survive without, you know, having to worry financially, really. And I suppose that I've ingrained that on my kids as well. Like I've ingrained it into them that you don't need money in life to survive in life. There's, you know, you can live quite comfortably if you're smart through your own labor and through your own brain, you know. Everything is out there, really. But I think everybody thinks if they don't pay for something with money, that is stealing. But everything comes from labor. Nothing comes from money. Everything comes from resources free through the planet. Nothing comes from money. It's our labor and resources that it comes from. But it's people's education that's a problem. And so everybody thinks a lot, especially on TikTok. I reckon about 40% of my comments is that stealing. You're stealing that.
It's incredible.
And I'm like, it's not stealing at all. They've had their money back. They've claimed through their insurance and through their tax. they've got their money back. You don't think they'll be throwing it away if they were losing money, do you? You know, if they were losing money throwing the stuff away, they would be repairing it and selling it in their shop. But they can't because it's fraud for them.
Are there instances where these companies are literally just throwing this stuff away because it would cost them more to store it? Is that the situation with many of it?
Well, some of my best places where I dive is not shops. It's actually wholesalers and suppliers. That is like the middleman, you know?
Right.
I mean, even from the first point of call, if I could dive factories, I would. I'd go straight to the factory, and because there's obviously during the manufacturing process, if they're making too much of something, or then they throw it away, you know, predominantly because they can't sell it. And so, but yeah, a lot of it's down to storage, especially with the warehouses. A lot of it is down to storage, and because I can go out and find, you know, perfectly brand new items, and I do regularly.
What's like the most expensive item, or the most sought after item you ever like?
Oh, it's phenomenal
found?
a phenomenal amount of money.
What sort of
£100,000 for one item.
What
and
was that?
And several of them. Yeah.
What was that?
I can't really say. I can't really say. But yeah, honestly, I've gone to a place and there's been a couple of £1 million worth of stuff just sat in the open, in the rain, to be destroyed.
To go to a landfill, or just to be destroyed?
Actually, no, to be crushed and destroyed. Yeah. I found cameras worth £30,000. Literally. And it's that incredible. So these are not normal cameras though. These are like this specialist for a certain medical, they would like for medical, but that's as far as I can go. I can't say anymore.
Okay. I don't want to get you into any trouble or anything.
I don't want to get myself.
So,
I don't. No, the thing is obviously I don't want everybody going out and diving these places, and you know,
of course,
it's because I've been doing it for 40 years. I've put into it, so it's my bread and butter. You know.
But
what I mean?
at the same time, it would be nice if this sort of like spread out across the country, and we had more people like you doing what you do.
It's great. The retail wise, that's why I only put the retail stuff online and on TikTok. I'm not going to put anything else on there because it goes much deeper. It gets much deeper than, and you know that you're not silly. I know
there's going to be waste all the way up and down the chain, isn't there?
Of
Every
course,
single
absolutely.
point where they've got stock.
Yeah, I mean, look at the government. Waste. Look at the face masks and all of the useless health stuff that they've bought in, and they've had to literally dump it all. Billions of pounds worth just dumped.
Yeah, billions of pounds worth. And there was obviously, we had quite a bit of press about that a few months ago, but then it was in and out of the news. But this is like, if you extrapolate this out, this is going on a daily basis in the other industries, isn't it? And it's billions of pounds worth of goods here. We're just sending to be destroyed.
Yeah, I mean, morally, it's repugnant, isn't it? It's a disgrace.
Especially when you know,
you don't need to suffer. You don't realize it. But if people watching this are struggling, if you're struggling to live and to survive, just go dumpster diving. Don't be scared. Don't fear it. Just go and do it. If you are hungry, it's not stealing. Just go and dive behind Marks and Spencer's or something. Don't fear that.
Yeah, I saw one of your videos you've done recently. There was like, I mean, how many wheelie bins full of ripe bananas that you found?
Yeah, Marks and Spencer's that was that, and the leeks and all that. Did you see that one as well? That Marks and Spencer exposed.
I didn't see that one. No.
There was like leeks and oranges and all fresh fruit.
That could have gone to a food bank. There's no.
Yeah, those bins. See, those bins are for food recycling. So the food that goes in those bins gets sent off to a specialist it gets turned into energy and stuff like that.
Okay.
What they do is they allow it to rot, and it causes a gas to build up, and then they use that gas to make fire, and then that fire turns, you know what I mean? That's how they make energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what that food's, but it's for category 3 material. And
yeah, I mean, this is meant to be stuff that's
meat,
bruised
and it's for meat, bones, and it's for animal byproducts. It's not for fruit and vegetables and bread and stuff like that. It's not what it's meant for. That stuff should not be in those bins.
It makes me, it does make me wonder, not just of how much we're wasting here in this country, but we can't grow bananas in this country. So we're importing these from other countries, and obviously other countries where, you know, it's the British Empire.
It's costing energy, right?
It's costing all the way along the chain, and ordinary people are suffering as a result of it. And it seems to be the whole ethos of these companies is just profit and to damn with anybody or everything and everything else.
Yeah, I mean, I can guarantee that the reason why I dumpster dive in the evening, a lot of police that pull me over and I tell them that I'm dumpster diving, a lot of them are fine with it. They're like, fine, carry on. And then some of them even give me credit. They say, I think it's absolute genius what you do. You know, you should.
That's good.
Yeah, some of them, not all police are bad. Most of them are really good about it. But I've lost my track of thought now.
That's okay, mate.
About again?
No, it's okay. I mean, I was just I'd forgotten the thread we were on then. I really did. Are there any other examples? I mentioned the swimming pools earlier. Are there any other examples where these places, you know, destroy an item before they put them in the dumpster, so people like you can't use them?
Yeah, that was it. That's what I was going to say. I've got back now. The reason why I dumpster dive in the evenings is because a lot of the time the police say that ask permission, but they're not going to give me permission.
Yeah.
Okay. And if I go in and ask them, they're going to lock their bins up. They're going to destroy everything that they put in their bins, and I'm going to end up with nothing. You know. Not only that, all of that stuff is going to end up in landfill, all of it, and it should not be going to landfill. This is the point in my YouTube channel. The reason why I started it was not to get everybody to start going dumpster diving. It was to highlight the immense amount of illegal waste that's going to landfill by these companies who are telling us to bloody well recycle.
I know
How dare they advertise recycling on all their websites? Go to Marks and Spencer's, go to Tesco's, go to Dunelm. All of them are telling you to recycle your old stuff.
Yeah, all of these places are going to charge you 6p for a carrier bag.
Yeah, well, none of them are recycling anything. In fact, they're destroying it and throwing it in a bin, and it's an outright insult. So that's why I started Auditing Waste, just to show people the complete joke. It's a complete joke. Our waste levels compared to retail levels is minimal. We don't actually throw that much away as a society. It's quite surprised. You'll be quite surprised if you go out on a waste day and try and look for stuff. If you was a dumpster diver to try and dumpster dive household waste.
Yeah, just normal people's houses. Yeah.
You won't find anything. And you'll see that there's recycling bins and recycle bags everywhere, because everybody is doing their bit.
Yeah, I'm meticulous with my you know, bottles and plastic and whatever, making sure
People
it gets
have
recycled.
been well programmed, mate. Society is very well programmed with the environment now, but it seems that businesses seem to think that they can just do what the hell they want, how they like.
Well, this is the worrying thing, isn't it? Because we get told that we've got to recycle, and it's been drilled into us, and we're meticulous about
years.
It, and we have to pay 6p, 7p, 10p for a plastic carrier bag, and we have to make sure that we buy the metal straws, and that we have to. And I don't mind all of it, anything that helps, great. But Meanwhile, the companies are just getting away with waste on a scale which is, I mean, it's unfathomable.
Let me show you something.
Please do.
I'll be right back. I'm just saying that they're charging you 30p for a carrier bag, right?
Yeah.
And we've got to cut down on plastic waste. I'll be right back.
All right, mate. This is quite, it's eye-opening. It's been eye-opening for me to watch these videos, and I hope people watching go and watch the Auditing Waste UK channel as a result of it, because the hypocrisy is absolutely astounding.
I went to Curry's a couple of weeks ago, and there was loads of boxes in there. And obviously, I do sell a lot of the stuff that I get from dumpster diving. It's one of the perks of the job, right? You know, I've found it. It's mine now. I've claimed it. So
use it as a business. Anybody else would.
Yeah, I mean, I do donate an awful lot. I mean, last week I donated almost a third of a garage full of stuff, which was like three vans full, to a homeless charity near us. So I do donate an awful lot of stuff, but this is Curry's PC World, but this is just a little bit. In my garage is like 10 boxes full of these bags from PC World, Curry's PC World. Look, they're the click and collect bags. See, you've got the handle on the top. When you go and you click and collect, you go in the store and they give you this with your items. These are brand new. They're unused, so they haven't even used them. And so I took them. I was like, ideal. I can use these for my stuff. So I turn them inside out now. I turn it inside out like that.
Perfect.
And I've got my own package in there, with no Curry's advertising on it. And I can send my stuff off and they'll still get used. But Curry's seems to think that it's perfectly fine to just throw that in the general waste.
And there's thousands of these that you've got, thousands of bags. Meanwhile, they're charging customers 10 pence or whatever it is per bag.
It's 30p now, isn't it, in Tesco's?
It's 30p now.
For Tesco's, it's 30p, yeah. I mean, they're probably charging like, 10 or 20p for these in Curry's. You know, there's a few quid's worth there, mate. It's quite a good earner, isn't it?
That's fantastic. You say education is going to be the way. Do you think that education is the key to changing this? Do you think?
What needs to change is the law. The law. It seems like if you're recycling your own stuff, that's perfectly legal. But for you to go out and recycle other people's stuff, it's illegal. Can't do that. What? Why? Why? If my neighbor throws something in the bin and I'm looking at it and it's bag full of stuff and it can be recycled, why on earth can't I go into that bag and say, right, I'm going to recycle that? How can that be illegal? It's ridiculous. So I started a petition on my YouTube.
Yeah, I signed it the other day.
Oh, thank you, mate. Make dumpster diving legal. Not because it's illegal because it's theft, but because everybody sees it as being illegal. It's the perception that people have that I'm trying to clear, not that it's illegal. So if they make it legal, then at least people aren't going to go, look, that's stealing, that is, or whatever. People are going to be accepting of it, and more people are going to go out and do it. And I think the only way the shops are going to learn that they can't hide their waste practices behind a lock and key in a gate, because that's what they're doing. They're now putting big gates up and putting locks on the bins and thinking no one will ever know because they can't, because we're doing for trespassing or whatever. Whereas if it was perfectly legal for me to go behind that gate and open that bin and say, you can't chuck this in here. This needs to be recycled. And if you're not, I'm going to do it. And then I can perfectly legitimately take it away and there'll be nothing that they can do about it.
Yeah, it just seemed like there needs to be some sort of systemic change, because this is not sustainable, is it? Not just for a country, but for a planet, for an economy, for everything. It's not sustainable to be just wasting so much, is it?
No, it's not. And also, I mean, I don't do it because of the global warming agenda and all that. I mean, I'm very skeptical about all that sort of stuff as well.
Well, I can
So,
imagine why somebody would be susceptible when you see that a person has to do their bit for the environment, but then they just let
but
the
they don't.
corporations, who are the biggest purveyors of waste and just spewing crap all over the planet, they just there seems to be no rules whatsoever for them to be abiding by.
You know what's funny is the Environment Agency in the UK. They are the ones who are supposed to enforce the regulations. But if you go onto the Environment Agency's website, there's a thing called public registers, and you can type in there a name of a company, and it'll bring up any prosecutions for that company. So what I do is I leave it blank, and I'm always checking it to see who's being prosecuted for for not obeying the laws that they're supposed to obey. And it's like 1 or 2 people a month they're prosecuting, and it's for stupid things like leaking milk down the drain or something like that, or Biffa Waste not keeping records correctly. None of it is them checking to make sure what they're throwing away is legal or illegal. It's like, I don't understand. What are they doing, these people?
Well, they're paying lip service then, aren't they?
They're looking after rivers and checking people for fishing licenses all day, while these companies are throwing away toxic waste down the bloody drain. I know companies that throw away boxes of bleach, like Booker, boxes of bleach, throwing this in the bin. It's absolutely absurd. It says on it, toxic, it's hazardous waste. Must be, is controlled only. Can't be thrown in a general waste skip. Has to be sent away to be professionally. Yeah, they have to. I'm not sure how they do it, but.
Have you ever come across any bad stuff that's been dumped? What
even
sort of...
slurry waste in a general waste bin? Yeah, I've opened up a waste bin and it's been full of shit, basically liquid shit in the bin, and that was a medical place. Unbelievable. I know.
If anybody was told about this, would anything actually get done about it? Because, I mean, it seems to me at the moment the laws are written to protect property and power, and not actually to protect us, the people, from this.
I think they're concentrating too much on fly tipping, to be quite frank with you, because fly tippers do get punished, and rightly so.
Rightly so,
but they need to look more commercially and at the illegal waste as well, because it's not just fly tippers, it's actual companies doing it week in, week out, day in, day out. And I can point out dozens of companies breaking the laws every single day to Environment Agency. But would they do anything about it? Have they got an agenda to keep these people sweet? Yeah, they don't even fine them anymore. You know what they do now? They get them to donate. It's like a bribe. Like, oh, if you donate to Natural Resources Centre like £20,000, and you won't have to go to court. And so they'll make a donation to these, to a bird sanctuary or whatever. So they can literally break the law, make a donation to some, I don't know, some environmentally abiding people, and it's fine for them to do it.
And then fundraise or advertise off the fact that they're doing this. Oh, look, we've sent in this stuff.
We've done. We've donated this. We've donated this amount to these people. And yeah, only because last week you threw away, 2 tons of toxic sludge down a drain and you got caught. But
how much worse is it getting? Is it getting like worse and worse and worse? You're saying it's
getting worse because they can hide it and legitimately hide it away with. They can lock their skips up and they can put big fences around it so no one has access. The only people that legitimately have access to those skips is the Environment Agency, right? They have the power to just walk on and say, unlock everything. And we want to search everything and make sure it's legal.
So if
I don't have that power.
Yeah, if
You
they
know?
legalize dumpster diving, though, you think that would really change it? I mean,
Yeah,
how would
they
you
could
get up?
license it. Even if they licensed it, that would be fine. I wouldn't mind them licensing it. I'd quite happily have a license and go around saying, right, you know, you open your bins up, want to have a look inside, please. So that's literally what I've changed from. I've changed from a dumpster diver to somebody that's, you know, enforcing rules and regulations that should be enforced by the Environment Agency, pretty much, because they can't be bothered to do it.
Yeah,
And of course, the environment is such a big topic. It's that my channel is growing really rapidly. My YouTube channel and TikTok have grown massively. I mean, I've got 10,000 followers this month alone, which is
excellent.
incredible. Yeah, I never thought I would ever get that many followers in a month, but
Well, people
crazy.
care about this stuff. You know,
Yeah, because
the
they're doing it,
person,
right?
an average person cares about this stuff, and an average person would be, I'm sure, inspired to do something about it. Many would, if they knew it was going on at the time. And this is kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to get you on to just try and, you know, expand the audience just a little bit, even if it's an extra 10, 20 people, whatever it is, just to get the word out there, and just to explain, like you said, if you're struggling, hey,
Go diving. Do not go. Don't be scared. Just do it. Yeah.
because some of the stuff I've said, like I said, the
Some of the
books
stuff's
one,
in better condition than it is in the shop.
the
You know?
books one was astounding, because they were hardback covers and they were all in their cellophane cover, and there were military books there, and there were books on art and what have you, and these things were worth 40, 50, 60, £100 or more on
200,
Amazon.
some of them. Some of them are
200, some of them.
£200.
And there was absolutely nothing wrong with them, and they were just going to send these books up to be chopped up, and
they're going to be
either
chopped. Yeah, they're going to be wasted. The thing that's astounding for most people, even in my immediate family, I'm the only dumpster diver in my family. So I've got brothers and sisters. They don't dumpster dive. They really struggled. They really don't have a lot, and they work, and they really don't have a lot. And when I took my brother dumpster diving this week for the first time, he couldn't believe his eyes. He was like, oh my God, is this really happening? He's like, I've been using 3 towels in my house for the last 3 years, because towels are so damn expensive. They're like £25 each for a
and
good
there's you
towel.
finding bags
And
of them on
there's
a
me
weekly basis.
yeah. And he's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I'm here struggling, and people are struggling, and these companies are throwing this stuff in the bin. And so I think that's the shocker for a lot of people. Like, I mean, even if it's frayed a little bit, you know, and they have to throw it because it's faulty, because it's, you know, got a little bit
It's
of
a
fraying or
towel.
what. It's a bloody towel. Honestly, even the bins, they'll throw like a stainless steel £60 bin away because the lid's loose, or it's got a little dent in the metal or whatever.
It's a bin.
Yeah, it's a bloody. They're throwing a recycling bin in a bin. Yeah, it's a damn bin. Bins aren't cheap. They're a lot of money. You'd be amazed how many bins I get from Dunelm and places like that, just with stupidest things. One of them once was £85 bin. I took it out, and I read the faulty sticker, and it said lid loose. So I lifted the lid up, and there was like a metal L-shaped bar, right, and it literally had come unclipped from the lid. I literally pushed it back in, and it was back to normal again. And I was like, are these people really that stupid? Are the staff in this shop really that stupid that they couldn't have done that themselves?
Well, the chances are the staff in that shop really don't care, and the chances are the staff in that shop are getting paid minimum wage, and you know they've got other things to worry about than what
the
the company's
managers
doing.
should be going through it, or they should be going through it and making sure that it is what the customer says it is, right?
Well,
if it can be repaired, it should be repaired.
Of course, and shouldn't there be an incentive for? I mean, there's obviously you mentioned that there's an incentive from the government to recycle this stuff. But
Yeah.
shouldn't there be an incentive for them to actually put it back out into the community rather than just recycle it? You know, and an incentive to be, you know, the food to actually give it away in some sort of, I don't know, farmers market type thing. And, you know, the clothes that I've seen you on your videos, just,
Yeah.
it is astounding me. There was a bag of suits I saw you pull out this
Yeah, it
morning,
was stunning. They were.
and it was like, well, there's a suit that some geezer could wear to his
To a
interview.
job
He hasn't
interview or
got one,
whatever.
you know.
Yeah.
It. Yeah,
Yeah.
is there anything that can be done politically, do you think, to change this, or do you think it's going to have to come from the bottom up?
First of all, they need to change the laws, don't they? They
Making
need
it legal and obviously regulating it and giving you a, you know, being
yeah.
licensed, that sort of thing.
And then there is a lot of charities that are helping a lot of people. And there is also a lot of people that take advantage of those charities wrongly as well. So it's very difficult to make sure that that stuff gets to the correct place. There is a food bank that they get donated millions of pounds worth of food every week, yet they're claiming grants from the government of 40-50 million pound a year, and yet they're a charity. They get food for free to give out for free, but they don't even give it out for free. They're even charging money for the food that's donated to them
This is
for
wrong.
free, and they're getting government grants on, I mean, multi-million pound grants.
This is wrong.
There's something really strange going on.
With
It doesn't,
charity as well.
yeah,
With
it doesn't,
charity, because
yeah,
I'm
it
seeing this
doesn't make
more and
sense
more.
to me. It's like there's some sort of laundering of money going on.
It's become a business enterprise. The charities have become a business enterprise. They've become a way of getting away with no tax and making money.
Absolutely.
That's
yeah.
what
They're
it's
making
become.
millions and millions of pounds a year from people's suffering. And that company, that you can see the video on my TikTok, the company is on my TikTok, and I went and searched their waste, and they're chucking tons and tons of food away every single week because they can't sell it. See, what they're trying to do is they're trying to, if they get donated something from a manufacturer, a food manufacturer, and it starts to get low in date, they start contacting a lot of the food suppliers around to see if they can get them to take it for an amount of money. But then all they're doing is passing the buck on to these food banks, because then if they can't give it away to people, they've got to throw it in the bin themselves, which is then costing them money, right?
Yeah.
So all they're trying to do is pass on the buck to the other smaller people who don't have any idea, like, oh, we're desperate for food, we'll take it. And then they end up with tons of food that they can't do nothing with and nobody wants, and they end up throwing it away, and it costing them money. It's a complete scam. The food banks that's doing this should be absolutely ashamed of themselves. That food, when it's short dated, should be given away for free at the very least, and it should have been given away for free at least a few weeks before that date. I mean, they're not stupid. They should know about product management and all that. They're employing staff who they're paying 50 to 100 grand a year in this charity, and yet they can't manage the food that they're getting and process it in a way that it's not going to be wasted. It's bizarre.
I have a friend who he actually left his job to go and work for Biffa, who you mentioned earlier, and he works for the side of Biffa, because Biffa's, I mean, they've bought up so many different companies in the last few years. They're massive.
Yeah.
And one of the things that they've started at Biffa is this food reclamation sort of side of the business.
Yeah.
And you know, for instance, they'll buy up, you know, a load of Coke that can't be sold at the supermarket because it was mislabeled.
Yeah.
or they'll buy up a load of food that's, frozen food that can't be sold in the supermarket because it says 400 grams and it's 389 grams. I
Yeah.
think
Ridiculous.
there's a tolerance, isn't there? So
Yeah.
he actually gave up his job to go and work for one of these companies that because he wants to give back and try and help. And I hear that they're doing, that side of things, they're doing quite well. So it's not like these companies are all terrible and bad, but it does need to be streamlined. And also, look at it, it keeps coming back to us. It keeps coming back to us. We need to demand that this stops, and we need to demand that these places are held account, and and we need to demand that it's legalized, because, well, I mean, it's not sustainable. Like I said.
No, and if the global warming thing is not a hoax, if it actually
Oh,
is,
it's not a hoax. It's not a hoax. The planet is
then
walking up.
it's
I don't know whether you
way
just
more
noticed
important now than ever before.
It really is. It really
Yeah,
is.
of course it is.
It really is. It's not a hoax. I mean, if you wanted to debate to me, it's not man-made, then I wouldn't argue with you really. I would just like,
Yeah.
global warming is happening, and we really, and whether it's happening or not, we should try and get off fossil fuels, which are choking us all out of existence and causing all the wars and all the horrible death around the world.
Yeah.
And we can transfer to green energy, and there's this big.
We're already doing it, believe it or not, massively, on a massive scale. We are doing it. It's just it's kept hush hush for some reason. Like with the coal, when they stopped digging up the coal and all that, or a lot of them energies have adapted and changed to waste. So they're now using our waste to generate that energy instead of using coal. So they're burning our waste, which is really, really good. So
yeah, but not if the waste is books.
Not if it's valuable waste, obviously. Yeah, if the stuff can be used and be sold and has a value, then why is it damn well in a bin? It's ridiculous. Because everything I take has a value.
Do you get any products that have been thrown away because of a really ridiculous fault? You mentioned the bin that you just fixed, and it was 80 pounds worth of bin. Do you see any stuff that's thrown away just, I don't know, because it's something
end of line
or anything like that?
A lot of end of line stuff does get thrown away,
like sort of end of the year's fashion,
end of season. Yeah, end of season and end of line and stuff like that. Yeah, but never I mean, a fault's a fault, right? It's no matter how minor or major it is, it's, so from a scratch to, smashed, it's, so they don't really need a minor or extreme reason to claim back what they're losing. So, but what's funny to me is people, like, when they try and criminalize me and I explain to them, and I say to them, but when you took the item back to the shop and they give you a refund, can you then claim that you still own that item? And they're like, well, no. And I'm like, why not? Well, because you got your money back, right? Yeah, right. But the shop also gets its money back. You don't think that the shop claims its money back? You don't think that the shop gets a refund on that faulty product from its supplier? Of course they do.
And you think like 40% of your comments are from people who are saying that what you're doing is theft and
easily
it shouldn't be allowed.
Easily,
isn't
yeah.
there? And they brainwashed. Haven't people been brainwashed into thinking this way?
Yeah, they're part of the issue, I think.
Because all of their lives they've been told what to buy and what to think, and they've been told they need to go and get a job, and they need to put something out into the economy, and they need to work for the man, and they don't thieve and blah blah.
You have to remember that everything they do and need comes down to money, right? That if you need an electrician, then you pay for someone to do it. If you need clothes, you pay for someone. You go shopping and buy it. Everything comes down to money for them. And so, I mean, if something goes wrong in my house and I need to rewire a light, I'll rewire the light myself. I won't pay an electrician £150 to do it for me. I know how to turn off a fuse switch in a fuse box. I know how to check whether the wire's live or not. I'm not an idiot. So for me, I've always done everything myself. I even changed the gearbox on a Ford Transit on my own, for Christ's sake,
Well,
because I wasn't going to spend £2,000 in a garage for something that would cost me £200 down the scrapyard. Yeah. So
well, the beautiful thing about the age that we live in, and YouTube, that where this is going out and where your channel is that you can pretty much learn to do anything now.
It's easy. Just type it in and someone will show you.
I had my computer blow up a couple of years ago. I say blow up, it just wouldn't start. And it's only through going on YouTube via my phone and just, I diagnosed what the problem was and saved myself like hundreds of pounds just because I learned how to fix something myself. And
there's so much wealth now, though, in the world, and there really is. That I think people have become a lot more better off in the last 20 years than ever before in history. People have so much more disposable income than they used to, especially with like social media and YouTube. You imagine all the YouTubers that are now, especially youngsters, that are earning incredible amounts of money through their channels, through prank channels and all that. And it never before has the world been so easily accessible to start your own way in life. Now it's so easy to do. Anybody can do it, right? With an idea. And so it's people just feel that they can just buy their way through life, right? It's easy. But now that wealth, I've found now that wealth's being clawed back now by the system, like with the price of everything going up, the price of energy going up, and the price of food going up, and everything is going up so much now. And the reason is because everybody's got too much wealth. They got to claw it back. They can't allow that much debt to be in the system, because they just can't allow people to get rich. Otherwise, nothing will get done. Who's going to work if everybody gets wealthy? No one's going to work anymore. People are going to work half as much as they used to, produce half as much as they used to. And so they've got to make people poorer again. And this is how they're going to do it now. This is where the World Economic Forum's coming in and all that. They are going to smash everybody. They are going to rinse everybody of everything they've got. They don't care if you own your house and what's yours. They're going to take it off you. You ain't going to have it for very long, sadly.
I was talking to my mate.
I'm sorry, but that's the way the world's going.
I was talking to my mate Steve yesterday about the World Economic Forum, and that thing scares me. It really does.
They are dangerous people, and they know exactly what they're doing.
Well, these are people that are
going to be a communist world that we're living in.
Well, for us, not for them.
Everything is going to be common, and
not for them. We'll the way it's going, we're going to have to abide by rules and abide by the social credit rating and whatever. But they will be able to fly
You'll
around.
get an allowance and all that,
as much as
a
they
digital
want
allowance.
It's
and what's going to happen then? I mean, you know what I'll be doing? I won't be claiming any digital allowance, mate. I'll be out dumpster diving, mate.
Well, mate, I'll be right there with you.
Nothing.
Yeah, I'll be right there with you, and I will bring as many people along with me, because
I think when it all does go tits up and people do need to survive, they're going to be looking at my channel and going, "Fuck it, I'm going to do what this guy does," because what have I got to lose now? They've already taken everything we've got. What have we got to lose?
Well, mate, I'm going to be following what you're doing with incredible curiosity. I think what you're doing is absolutely fantastic, and it's really exposing giant, massive problems in the system that we subscribe to, and the whole fallacy that you have to go to work for 40 hours a week and for your entire life to buy things because you need money, when there's so much waste.
I work 3-4 hours a week, mate, and that's it, and I have done all my life.
There's a better way out there, people. There's a better way out there.
There is.
Where can people find you, mate? It's Auditing Waste UK on YouTube.
Yeah, and auditing, and the same on TikTok. You can
find on TikTok as well. Is there anything that we haven't covered that you maybe want to talk about? I think what you're doing is fantastic. I really do. Yeah,
no, not really. I think that's about it, mate. It's quite.
Well, keep doing what you're doing, and
Oh
please,
well, I'll never stop. Like
and please
never.
come back on again, and we'll talk
Yeah,
some
I'd
more.
love
And
to.
hopefully we can talk about them maybe legalizing this.
Yeah, look, I mean, I really need more people to sign up. Obviously, I'm not, I'm not a millionaire. I don't have any financial backing or anything, so I can't really promote the petition as much as a lot of people can on YouTube, because I've only got like 3,000 subscribers. So,
Well, I'll put the link to
but
the petition underneath this.
I'd be grateful.
Please go and click on that, and
Fantastic.
subscribe to the YouTube and the TikTok as well. And
Thank you, man.
yeah, I'll put the links are underneath. Just thanks so much for coming on. And
That's my pleasure. It's been nice talking to you, mate.
yeah, it's been wonderful talking to you. And please
And
come on again. And
maybe I can come on your live on TikTok and talk about it as well, like someday,
absolutely,
sometime.
absolutely.
I'd like to do that because I go live on TikTok quite a lot and people love it. So
all right, well,
maybe we can go on live
we'll
together.
set that up in the coming weeks for sure.
Yeah, fantastic.
I'm bound to find it. Thanks so much, mate. It's been a pleasure.
My pleasure.